I'm going to spend about 10 minutes and just walk you through how an account team can use Claude as an AI platform to help build out an account strategy as you're approaching specific accounts. And I'm going to use the example of BP here just because it's a big company, it's globally recognized, and it's going through a significant transition at the moment. They are transforming from what they say an IOC, an international oil company, into an IEC, an integrated energy company, as they refocus on electrical and non-carbon intensive ways of generating energy. So one of the features of Claude is that you can create a project, and a project is really a holding place for specific bits of content. And every time you ask a chat in that project, it will use and reference some of that content. So here I've created one for BP. It's one of our strategic accounts. The project is used for our sales team to collate BP-specific content and to be able to develop our account strategy. And what I've attached here are 4 documents. So the last transcript from their second quarter results, the slide deck from those second quarter results, their ESG investor pack for their sustainability goals, and then their most recent investor handout, which explains their strategy, the structure of the business, the key individuals, and the economics of each of those business units. And then I can also provide a bit of extra detail for the prompt and any prompts that go through. So here I've written, you're a strategic account executive at a B2B SaaS company providing a CRM platform. BP is not an existing customer of yours, but you are working on how to sell into the account. You're an innovative and creative in your strategies. You're focused on helping BP to achieve their strategic goals through the use of our CRM platform. And so that helps guide all of our searches. So let's just assume that I've just been given BP as an account. I'm not too familiar with them. Well, one of the first things I'm probably trying to get a handle on is like, how's the thing structured? So my prompt here, my manager here has asked me to explain the organizational structure at BP so that we can draw up a slide for a leadership presentation. Using the provided project knowledge, can you document, firstly, the organizational structure in a written form? Second, I'd like you to create an image of the organizational structure as an artifact that could be used in a presentation. And here is a bit of best practice when you're engaging with AI models, is to break the task down in order, just as you would if you were working with a colleague. First, I'd like you to do this, then I'd like you to do that. And that really helps the models to build on each step of the process. And so here, going through the documents, it is breaking down all of those organizational structures. And then, as I've asked in BP colors, provide me with a slide. Now, you'll want to go and verify anything that comes out of an AI model. But at its core, BP has got these 3 main structures, which is the gas and low carbon energy, which are slightly better than the middle bit in terms of oil production and operations, which is very carbon heavy. And then customers and products, which is where things like retail and EV charging and so on sit. So that's helpful. But actually, I know it's a very complex organization. I'd like to know what sits in each of these 3 divisions. So this is a fantastic start. Would you also be able to create a second artifact that breaks down the structures that make up those 3 main business units? And so it comes straight back to me breaking that down a little bit more. Once again, you want to verify this, but if you're trying to get a very quick, up to speed on how an account works, this is a great way for your account teams to be working and just get an understanding of what sits where. So the next thing I'm trying to figure out is, okay, well, I'm a CRM company. Let's really try and understand what their strategy is and how we might be able to tie into that. So from the provided project knowledge, could you please summarize BP's strategy? I'm keen to understand what their top strategic priorities are so that we can match our product positioning to their future direction. And just as we saw highlighted in the strategy document, the transformation from an IOC to an IEC, an integrated energy company. And a big part of that is a focus on some transition growth engines. This is how do they increase their sort of sustainable offering. Bioenergy, convenience retail, and electric vehicle EV charging is a key point here. We're going to come on to that. So thinking about if you're an SDR or you're an account executive that's new to BP, a really quick way of getting a handle on what is going on at the organization. We can also see a couple of acquisitions that have just gone through here, which might be important to us if we're thinking about how we can support them. So I've got a bit of an idea of what their strategy is now. Next thing, let's assume that I worked for Salesforce and I worked on their Service Cloud team. And I'm really trying to figure out how we could get more Service Cloud into BP. So I work for Salesforce.com, one of the leading CRM companies. I specifically work on the Service Cloud team, which provides customer support and field service applications to allow our customers to deliver a great customer service to their customers. Knowing what you know from the BP documents you got access to, I'd like you to come up with 10 potential business areas or use cases at BP that Service Cloud could be a good fit for. Secondly, I'd then like you to review your list of 10 and pick the 5 that you think that provide the biggest opportunities for BP to improve their service to their own customers. And then for those 5, I'd like you to then suggest the role of the person that would be the most appropriate buyer for our platform. And specifically because there's a number of different parts to this task, I'm then asking Claude, this is a detailed task, so if you've got any questions before you start, I'm here to help. And the AI models really appreciate this. So in this example, it's saying, okay, I would like more clarification. Before I begin, can I clarify, one, should I just focus primarily on BP's customer-facing business units, like retail, fuel stations, and EV charging? Or should I also consider internal service use cases like HR, business partners, HR shared service, and finance shared service, and payroll? Well, this is really interesting that the AI is able to pick up that there are different areas here and asking what I want to focus on. And then also saying, when suggesting the roles or titles for potential buyers, should I stick just to the titles that are explicitly mentioned in the document, or can I make reasonable inferences about the likely roles? Good point. So I'd like you just to focus on the customer-facing business units for now, and let's go beyond the names that are provided in the documents. We'll go and research them later on. Thanks for the clarification. So here are 10 potential business areas or use cases for Service Cloud at BP. Retail fuel stations, EV charging network, customer support. Now, you could be able to come up with a lot of these as the AE yourself, but what you'll find is, A, this helps you get where you're going a lot faster, but it also starts to inspire ideas that you might not have come across, especially if you're new to BP, you're new to energy, you're new to your own company. It's going to help you get where you want to go a lot faster. Then I asked Claude to prioritize the top 5 that it thinks are the most valuable opportunities for BP to improve their service. And then for each of those, who might be the person that would be the potential buyer for our products. And in this case, for the EV charging network, it could be a global head of EV customer experience. They might be responsible for ensuring a seamless customer experience across the charging network. And this is why they might be interested in Service Cloud, dealing with customer interactions, charging issues, gathering insights to improve the efficiency or the experience of the charging process. Okay, let's dive deeper into EV charging. You've got me interested. I wasn't aware that they had an EV charging network. So what can you tell me from the provided documents about why this is a high priority for BP and what opportunities it raises from a customer support perspective? Well, strategic importance, and this is where Claude is pulling out information from those documents. It's listed as one of the 5 transition growth engines. It's experiencing rapid growth. It's gone from 22,000 charging points in 2022 up to 29,000 at the moment, and projected to go much higher in the next couple of years. BP claims market leadership in a certain number of markets, so it's obviously a very well-respected network and a lot of brand focus on it. And then here are some customer support opportunities where Salesforce Service Cloud could be a good fit in that organization. So it's really helping us with our ideas. Okay, great. I'm on board now as an AE. I think this is something that I want to go and focus on. So thanks. From the information you have, whereabouts does the EV charging network sit in BP's org structure? What team does it sit within? And who would be the senior executive ultimately responsible for the success of the EV network rollout? Well, this sits within the customers and products segment. It's one of BP's main operating segments. It's a transition growth engine. It is integrated with their convenience and mobility. Now, when we get to who owns it, well, the documents don't explicitly name the executive responsible, but from the Q&A transcript from the last investor call, we can see that Emma Delaney provides detailed responses about the convenience and mobility businesses, including EV charging. Her role isn't explicitly stated, but based on her knowledge and authority in discussing those areas, she appears to be a senior executive with a responsibility for these businesses. When we go and have a look for Emma Delaney on LinkedIn, she's the EVP of Customer and Product. So absolutely, she's the senior executive owning that whole pillar of the business. So now we might be thinking, right, well, how are we going to get Emma's attention? You know, she's the senior executive, probably lots of people getting in contact with her. We're not just going to chuck her in a cadence and see what happens. So let's start to come up with some creative ideas to outreach to Emma. Hi there, I'm going to start doing some creative outreach to Emma Delaney, who's the EVP of Customer and Product at BP, the business unit in which the EV charging network sits. I'd like you to help me come up with some creative ideas for how we could get Emma's attention through direct mail or gifting. Specifically, I'd like to send Emma something unique that highlights the importance of the shift towards an electric vehicle future and the importance of delivering great customer service. Let me go through the order. First, I'd like you to suggest 10 ideas for a bespoke gift that I could order or create to send her. Second, I'd like you to look at your list and pick the 5 that are the most creative and would be appreciated by Emma in her role. And then third, I'd like you to pick your favorite idea and then craft a snappy and humorous 2-sentence gift message that references the chosen gift and would inspire Emma to look forward to my follow-up call. So here are 10 ideas for a bespoke gift for Emma Delaney. A miniature EV charging station model with customized BP branding. So imagine that, a mini EV charging station that you could maybe charge your phone on, and it's in BP branding. You can imagine Emma might really like that on her desk and it would really stand out. And then here's many more ideas. The thing here isn't, oh, right, I'm going to go and buy one of these or order one of these. It's about setting your imagination free and your creativity free and bringing the imagination back to selling. And like, how do I get in touch with this person and capture their imagination? Then the top 5 most creative ideas that Claude then looks at. And then we ask Claude to pick the favorite idea. Well, the favorite idea is a miniature EV charging station model customized with BP branding. So we could go and develop that or order that through Etsy or something. That would be quite fun. And then a gift message. Emma, I hope this charges up your day. Let's plug in soon and talk about how we can electrify BP's customer experience. And so just getting your ideas that makes this such a more creative outreach approach than just chucking Emma in a cadence and seeing what happens. So there we go. That has been sort of 10 minutes of using projects in Claude to research an account, to come up with a value proposition that could target that specific account, and then to figure out who might be the key executive and to come up with some creative ways of trying to approach, reach out to that executive. Now, you can imagine how you could do this across all of your strategic accounts and have a much improved way of outreaching and prospecting to your customers and bringing your account teams together and thinking far more innovatively and creatively.